to a crossover Gene Simmons Vault podcast. This is the second one we've managed to put together. It is a group of diverse podcasters from the rock and roll and Kiss community getting together to pontificate about the topic we love the most. Okay, he wants to think that we love him the most, about Gene Simmons and the Vault. So for the KissFAQ podcast, there are two of us represented today. Ken, 69th Blizzard on the KissFAQ board, and myself, hello, Julian, the admin, and we are joined by Sonny, Pooni.
What's up, guys?
And Steve Wright. Sonny, let's start with you. Introduce yourself and the podcast that you're a part of, and anything else you want to say to the people.
Yeah, I'm Sonny. Some people call me Hollywood. I'm a co-host of two podcasts regularly. One is Podcast Rock City, which is all Kiss podcast. We just had our 200th episode, so it's pretty cool. And then the other one's a newer, which is called Growin Up Rock podcast. We do interviews. We talk about subjects. We got two pretty good interviews lately. One Jeff Scott Soto, one Steve Stevens, which was pretty fun. So me and Stephen Michael, Stephen does a great job getting the interviews and really get the podcast going. We've been doing that for about 8 months now.
Excellent. And of course, Podcast Rock City is Joe the Mighty Polo.
That's right. Those guys are fun to work with. Yeah.
I like Joe. Steve's a good guy, too. Look forward to seeing him in Indy. Yeah. Steve, what about you? Where do you come from, and what do you have going on in your world?
I am the host of the Hotter Than Hell podcast. I do that along with my co-hosts, BC and BB. Everyone's got a nickname except for me, I guess, on the show. And my son Dylan is also a part of the podcast. He does all of our editing and everything. He's in most of the episodes. And he's the one that likes to torment me the most, besides Steve and Michael, because we've had him on some shows. We've had Ken on the show, Sonny on the show. Julian, we'll have to get you on one of these days. We've had Mark Anthony K on the podcast. We've had some cool interviews and stuff. It's called Hotter Than Hell. We're not a Kiss podcast. We felt that guys like you and Joe Polo and the Three Sides guys have, you guys have Kiss covered pretty good, but we are like huge Kiss fans, and we definitely wanted to bring Kiss into it. And much to the chagrin of Dylan, I bring up Kiss at the earliest opportunity, except Sonny beat me to it on the one episode.
So you just raised a really good point. I've got a 15-year-old kid. I need to get him doing the editing work. That would just delegation and slave labor. I think.
Well, he doesn't do it for free.
Well, I think mine, I feed him. He will, well, maybe that's a negotiating thing that we got to. Now, whenever we have someone on the KissFAQ podcast, and while we're not doing this on any specific show banner today, I do like to always just have people chime in with when did they become a Kiss fan and what's their favorite Kiss album. So, Steve, while your voice lasts, let's get you in on that.
All right. Yeah, my voice is kind of shot. We were at the M3 Festival this weekend, me and my buddies, and we sang every set, so we're pretty shot, but I'm just glad to be here. My favorite Kiss album, that actually, of the topic that we're doing today, that's actually is the hardest thing for me to decide what it was, because my top 10 or top 5 is a sliding scale. So I'm gonna go with Love Gun, I would say, except for Then She Kissed Me. It makes me want to run out into traffic.
And when did you get into Kiss?
I got into Kiss, and I don't know exactly. I want to say it's got to be 76, because I remember watching the Paul Lynde special and seeing them on there.
Fantastic. A Beatles moment for the modern generation.
Sonny, absolutely.
How about you? When did you get into Kiss, and what's your go-to Kiss album?
Yeah, I got into Kiss a little bit later. So my entry is Heaven's on Fire video on MTV. So I was already 14 years old, almost 15. And, loved that there was girls, loved that there was, great singing, great melody. And so I wanted to be a rock star right then and there. My go-to Kiss album has always been the same, Kiss Asylum.
Nice. Well, that's my entry point for everyone who's forgotten. Obviously, with Coming to America, I didn't know Kiss until Tears Are Falling video, so I'm one later than you, same age group as well. So what's my go-to Kiss album? Rock and Roll Over. What I can never go wrong with that. And Ken, yours quickly for everyone who may not know you.
Yeah, I got into Kiss back in 1977 when I bought the Alive 2 album, and then I started discovering, double platinum and then the whole back catalog and so on. So been on I haven't jumped ship since then. And my go-to album is also Rock and Roll Over.
Awesome. That's I guess why we sync up so good, Ken. All right, so we're going to be talking about the Gene Simmons Vault today, but Mr. Eddie Trunk has been pontificating on the Vault today. I don't know if any of you guys have listened to that clip yet. He's said that it's a real undertaking to get through because it's so massive. He's annoyed that a lot of the songs come from cassettes and there's hiss, and he calls them work tapes and very loose demos. He said it's the sort of thing he's only going to listen to it once, and he doesn't see how there's any song on there that he would actually crank out of his car radio or open up his windows in the summer and blast. He said they're not fully formed songs. Some of them are only a minute and a half of the riff. And then he questions the bass price. And just remember that he got his sent to him anonymously, so he did not pay to play. Just your, anyone want to chime in on thoughts on that? And yeah, I like Eddie. Let me make that clear. This is not me having any axe to grind with Eddie Trunk. I respect him. I respect what he does for music. He keeps it in the forefront and uses a platform. I think he's right in some ways. There are some songs on this that are definitely work tapes and hissy, and if that's the only way that there is to get them on the Vault, then I'll take it. As a bootleg collector, I respect the history of each one of these songs. It's an opinion. Mileage is going to vary. I happen to care about the history of these songs to the point where your casual person who's not going to spend $2,000 on a Vault won't. And that's fine. So I don't think Eddie's financially or emotionally invested in this stuff. He should know better as someone who worked in the industry about what demos are, what they represent. Ken, quick thoughts, if any?
Yeah, he got it for free. He wasn't going to buy it anyway. So, why should he complain about it? And he says it wasn't worth the money, but he got it for free. Again, he got it for free. And to me, it was worth the money, not just the music, but again, as we've said before, it's the whole experience. I'm getting to spend some time with Gene, meet Gene, and have him sign my stuff, and then have him do his thing on stage and so on. So it was all worth the price for me. I mean, Eddie Trunk is just, I think I posted it. I say he's living back in the Destroyer era. That's his reference, and that's it. Not everything's going to sound like that. And Mark Anthony, our guy Mark, he's glad it's not going to sound like that. So anyway, I just don't get it. I guess to each their own.
Yep, and let us be clear here. 3 of us went to the LA Vault experience, Sonny, Ken, and myself. Yes. And Steve, you went to Philly?
Yeah, I was in Philly.
So, we've all had the experience that Eddie did not have. And maybe, here's my cynical take on it. It's his play to get Paul Stanley on his show. By bagging on Gene's Vault, he's trying to get back in Paul's good graces. Ain't gonna work, Eddie. Keep trying. Steve, any thoughts on those comments? And obviously, I paraphrase if you've not heard them yourself.
Yeah, I got to say, and I'm a guy that I'm not really a bootleg collector, and I have to say that I really enjoyed it. There's a lot of stuff on there. There's some stuff you're not gonna like. You're not gonna like everything, but I do enjoy it, and like I said, I'm not a bootleg collector, but I do enjoy them. I enjoyed reading the book. I thought the book sometimes was not as detailed as I would have liked. And I think you mentioned on one of your shows, Julian, like some of the songs, it was unclear who actually played on them, if it was all Gene and stuff like that. But, I liked them. It was probably about what I thought it was going to be, but there's some rocking stuff on there.
Yep. Sonny, last thoughts before we get into what we're really here to talk about?
Yeah. Overall, I'm an Eddie Trunk fan. I would say that him saying he can't crank any of it, let's say, then he didn't listen to it all, in my opinion. I think his opinions would be completely different if this was Ace, not Gene, and it was worth every penny.
That's true.
It was worth every penny to me. So I'd do it again. So.
Yep, and that's all it is. What Eddie had is an opinion. What we're going to give you now are 4 opinions, because we're approaching this episode of the Vaultcast with selecting a 15-track best of the Vault. What would each of our picks be if Rhino called us up and said, "Hey, Sonny, We need you to come up with 15 tracks that you think the Kiss fans would love and would shift more units for us. What would be your methodology in approaching that mission, Sonny?
Mine would be pick 15 songs that give a good taste of what the flavor of the vault was all about, right? So these are the 15 songs that will sell it, right? Are the other 150 songs just as good? Yes and no, depending on what you like. And we've had the conversation. I'm not a huge Beatles fan, so the Beatles type songs turn me off a bit, where I really like some of the other songs, right? But my approach was the 15 songs that would sell more vaults.
Perfect. Steve, how would you approach this mission?
I approached it with not being familiar with a lot of the songs. What I did was, instead of going through them all, I just put them all and I hit shuffle. And as I went along, a good song came along. I wrote that one down, and then I went back through the book, and I had a ton of them. So then I just kind of had to whittle it down from there. Yeah. And Sonny knows my methodology is always somewhat different. And my marketing, how I was going to do it. Are we doing that part now?
You can do. We'll go actually, however you want to do it.
That's pretty integral to how my my set is going to go, because, like I said, Sonny knows that I always do something different. And what I did was, instead of a vault, what you get is going to be a safe deposit box.
That's brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant.
And there's going to be not just one CD with 15. You're going to have 3 EPs with 5 songs each on it. And you're going to there's going to be 4 different versions of it, and there's going to be a mini bass guitar in each safe deposit box. You're going to have the Punisher in one. You're going to have the Ace, the Axe bass in another. You're going to have the one that he used in the 80s with the Gene makeup on it, and you're going to have the Kiss Alive bass in them. So that way you're going to, guys like us, we're going to buy all 4 of them. Yeah. And then for, you said 2 tracks that just miss, Sonny, he'll get me again on this. Each vault is going to have a download card in it with the message from Gene on there and 1 more song. But there's going to be 5 of them, so that you'll never know which one you're going to get.
Nice. Oh. So, okay. I totally like the concept. You've definitely come from the Gene Simmons School of Marketing. Well done. Ken, how about you? How do you approach this question?
Well, we did that one show or a couple shows going over our lists of each disc or a couple songs. So I kind of had that to go by, and then look at the songs I picked at the time. And I didn't use all the songs I picked. Actually, other songs since that time, more songs have grown on me than what I liked before. So I took the list and I took the songs I liked, and then I listened to some of the other ones, and then I swapped out, and so I ended up creating a playlist in iTunes, and then I structured it kind of chronologically as much as best I could, from earlier stuff into his the Beatlesque stuff in the 70s, and then 80s, and then up to the 90s and closer to now. So I kind of went chronologically. So that's how I picked the songs. Otherwise, if we're talking about marketing, I was if they did a vinyl of this, I would have put it on a double vinyl, and then maybe have some kind of case for it, like he was going to put it in like a briefcase or something like that, saying Gene Simmons on it or whatever, or that has his money bag logo on the sides, something like that. But on the actual vinyl itself, since I would have you have on the vault, you have the combination thing, that would be the center label on these things, and maybe it'd be turned to the number of side 1. It'd be on 1, and then the label for that would be on side number 2, or it could be 10, 20, 30, 40, so you'd know what side you're on, and then the actual list of songs would be somewhere else, something like that. And then the cover of the vinyl would be maybe something like the leathery kind of look, or something like, the vault, kind of color and so on with the rivets, that sort of thing.
Would you have the handcuffs on there?
Yeah, the handcuff, maybe the whip. So I don't know. Yeah. So as for special gift, I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. I didn't think that far, but I like Steve's.
All right, so that's a good one. I approached this. One of my favorite box sets of all time is the Rare Cult box sets that came out in the early 2000s. One was a 6 CD, and one was a 5 CD. And after they'd released these, they came out with the Best of Rare Cult CD, which had, I think, 12 songs compiled from the Rare Cult box and 5 tracks that they'd forgotten or had not included on it. So that's how I approach mine. I say let's do a single CD, and it is a mix of the best of the tracks on there plus a few egregious omissions. It gives me the opportunity to fix for Rhino what I think are the gaping holes in the vault as a product, and maybe my ego's getting in the way of this, but that's how I do it. For a title for my, and I'll talk about my packaging at the end of the show when we get to that final question, because I just can't say anything now that comes anywhere near a safety deposit box in Steve's concept. That's just you are the winner of this section of the show. 10 points to that man over there. Let's do titles. I'll give you mine first, and I went with the extremely unoriginal, already mentioned Alter Ego, the Best of the Vault. Just because kind of Alter Ego does play in, it was once considered to be a title for the product that became the Vault, and also Alter Ego ties in with this is the Alter Ego of the Vault. So that's where I come from with there. Steve, how about you?
I tried to think of a name that kind of went with the safe deposit box, but nothing was jumping out at me. So it would be either called Gene Simmons, Damn I'm Good, Best of the Vault, or it would be Gene Simmons, A Powerful and Attractive Man.
Nice. Damn, I'm good. I like that. Again, you're on fire here. But Sonny, how about you?
Mine's called Breaking Into the Vault, and then in parentheses, it says Hidden Treasures, Hardrock Jewels, Delicate Gems, because I got 5 of each of those split up on my CD.
Oh, nice. I like that. Ken?
Mine is just going to be simple. I'm just keeping it, Best of the Vault. That's what Gene Simmons, Best of the Vault, or Best from the Vault. And
no one went with Music from the Vault just to really doom themselves.
Oh, that'd be tricky. And then have a hand on there, reaching up.
Paul Stanley's hand closing the vault, keeping it shut.
He's closing it.
All right, let's get into some of the track by tracks. How do you want to do this? Just pick one of yours and say why, and we'll just round table it through our 15 picks and then summarize them all at the end so everyone can build their own list. Sonny, let's start with you. I think I'm going to go from right to left on my screen, so we'll start with you.
All right, so like I said, mine's split up into 3 sections: Hidden Treasures, Hardrock Jewels, and Delicate Gems. And Hidden Treasures for me is these should have been absolutely on a Kiss album, and that was a miss in Kisstory for sure. Hardrock Jewels are just hard rocking songs, and then Delicate Gems are some of the ballady type songs. So my CD opens with It's My Life, and it absolutely has to open with It's My Life, because it's a goddamn shame that it wasn't on a Kiss album to begin with.
Crime against humanity. And,
yeah,
I must say, I love the thought that you put into this by splitting it up into 3 different sorts of styles. I also want to give you a shout out for the work that you did publicizing those write-ups in January. So soon after actually receiving the vault, you were typing them up for everyone to read and really giving people a look in the vault. And I'm pretty sure that those articles shifted some units for Rhino. So shout out to you for doing that. Great that you could share that with the fans so quickly. Steve, let's go to your first pick.
When you mentioned that, I do have to say, listening to the 3 of you that I'm in here with, you guys were the ones that really solidified me getting the vault. Just listening to you guys talking about Sonny's articles and Julian and Ken, you guys talking about the vault and your experience of it. And I just, thank you guys for the hit to my bank account, but it was definitely worth it. It was absolutely worth it. I went first with I think one of the main songs that everybody wanted to hear. It was the first song that I went to on the vault. That even started at the beginning. I wanted to hear "Got Love for Sale" with the Van Halen brothers. "Got Love for Sale" is that is my ultimate favorite Van Halen song, and oh my God, the solo in that is just phenomenal. So I had to open that up with, and I put on the bottom of my paper that I wrote down here. I left off a lot of good stuff because why should everyone get all the good shit that we got? But I definitely want everybody to hear that version.
Exactly, and that's one of the notes I didn't actually read for, how my method would be is I don't want to ruin the vault for the majority of purchasers is what I said my very first line, and thank you for reminding it. Thanks also for the kind words about us shaking loose $2,000 for Rhino out of your bank account. Blame Sonny, it was all his write-ups.
Yeah, right.
Ken, how about you? What's your first pick?
My first pick is Eskimo Sun.
Nice.
I just thought, like I said, I'm going pretty much chronologically, and I think that's just a good starting point and great song. And the other thing is I'm trying to give a perspective of the music. Some of it I put on there. You'll see that I chose some songs that are I think should have been on this thing, but I left some out. Key songs out too because I don't want to give them all the good nuggets. Like I'll just say right now, I'm not putting any of the Van Halen stuff on there because I figure you should buy the vault for that. So that instead of my best of. So there's still something that just keeping it out of there. So anyway, Eskimo Sun is the way it starts off for mine.
Good pick again. My first pick, and again, having been a bootleg collector for decades, the first thing I said to Gene, or one of the things I said to Gene during my vault experience was, Gene, I'm glad I finally get to give you the money for the music that I've been listening to for decades. And then he said that he liked me. So my first pick's Howling for Your Love. I've always liked that song. I like the dorky bumpity bump lyrics. Is it a great song? No, but it's a fun song. It's one that circulated for a long time for a lot of collectors who may be on the fence, and I think it's a great demonstration of the sound quality where it is a substantial improvement on what has circulated out there for many years. So therefore, I think it's just a good way to get the collectors in when they can go listen to the song and say, oh yeah, Howling for Your Love. Yeah, oh wait, that's way better than my cassette copy that I've had since 1994. So trying to just balance the good stuff with the kind of logical stuff. Sonny, let's get on to your next pick.
Next one, again, should have been on a Kiss album, Are You Ready? And, I was so glad that Gene used that song to kind of pump up the vault before we got there, and we got to hear it on YouTube and some other things and the personal emails he was sending. But just the backing vocals on that track are incredible. Tommy kills the solo. The song is awesome. I don't even know if it was ever even pitched to a Kiss album, but it should have been on one.
Yeah, it would have fit in nicely on Sonic Boom. Maybe if they do a deluxe edition of that. Good pick.
Yeah,
Steve,
absolutely.
Back to you, Steve.
My next pick, I went with Take It Like a Man #2. I think that kind of show it. It's what it sounds like the concept ended up being. You wanted the best, which, he does the four guys doing the vocals, and he, mimics Paul with the falsetto, and then he mimics Peter. I'm in the mafia, baby, and then he does Ace. And I like to take a drink every once in a while, and he actually did a pretty decent imitation of Ace. So I kind of like how that shows that just the idea of them doing something with all four of them singing actually turned into the kind of crappy song that it ended up being. But that was I like the concept of it. When
great Kiss ideas go wrong.
Yeah.
Ken, your next pick.
Yeah, my second pick is Going Blind, Little Lady. I like the Going Blind in general. I like it from Hard and Hell, and I like especially the unplugged version. But this is a good song to see how it really began, how it was, and with the original lyrics, the lady beneath the sea, right? So it's just a great. it's every time I hear it, either way, either version, I always love it, and I will never turn it off. So it's just a great song that continues the chronologic order.
Nice. Okay, so it's my turn.
Yes.
And this one surprises me that it stayed on my list. It was hovering down near the bottom, but it's again, no preference order here. I'm not going from best to worst or anything. She's rotten to the core. Mm-hmm. When Lita Ford's version came out, I hated it. Again, it's one of those stories of Gene Simmons refusing to let an idea or a lyric or a riff die, and he keeps recycling it over and over and over. And this is a riff that just refused to die. So, even going back to 76, it finally got out on that Lita album, and now Gene's version's on the Vault. And it's actually pretty catchy. And it's got Bruce on guitars. It's got some good, guitar work on it. There's some dude called Roger Carter on drums. So it's just a fun rock track that I think it would represent the Vault well for kind of some of the stuff people may have heard on other people's releases. All right, Sonny, back to you for number 3.
All right, so my third one is actually I Turned to Stone. So again, right, I'm going for hidden treasure stuff that should have made a Kiss album. It's actually my favorite track on the first disc. The riff is very ZZ Top. How can you not like lyrics that say stiff as a bone? Like, that's totally Gene. Right? So, I Turned to Stone's one of my favorite songs actually on the entire Vault.
Now, does that song have a backbone slip in it?
No, I don't think.
No,
maybe.
Okay.
I don't think so.
I
don't think
doesn't.
so. Yeah.
All right, Steve, let's move on to your third pick.
Okay, I went down. I tried to get a little flavor of like all the decades and stuff that he went through. So I went back to the "Burn It Up with Fever" #1, the original demo for the '78 solo album. It's raw. It's I'd say funkier than the version that actually came out, and I love the scratchy guitar solo on that. So I had to definitely throw something in there that represents the '78 solo album.
I think that might. I don't know who does that guitar solo on that. There were how many different versions on the Vault? 3 different Burning Up with Fever.
And that was like one of the things that you brought up on one of the other ones too. Like, so there's some of the information is rather sketchy and stuff like that. So I wasn't sure who did that one either, but I like that version.
Nice,
more raw.
Ken, number 3.
Number 3 for me is One More Chance. I know Sonny will like that a lot because it's so like a Beatles. But anyway, One More Chance is another one. Again, it's Beatlesque, and it's like, I guess it's on the solo album was like Mr. Make Believe, I guess. So that's a good one. I think it shows how good the songs could have been maybe on the solo album had they not overproduced, that album a bit. It would have been more stripped down, would have been better. That's really, I love that song.
Well, with my number 3 pick, you can't get much further away from that than Juliet. And I think I had that when we did our other shows on this. But it's been a favorite of mine from the Vault since it was part of the audio montage. So it was one of the earliest songs that we got a sample of. But I loved the writing Gene did with Ken Tamplin. This rocker just has a very kind of living color, cult of personality kind of guitar vibe to it for me. And I like how it's a play on the Midwest, on Joliet, the town, which is right down from Romeoville in Illinois. And don't hold me to that. I think that's what he says in the book. But great song, good rocker. And again, I think Sonny mentioned Turn to Stone. Those two are just like really heavy Gene songs and very much what I like from the Demon. All right, back to you, Sonny, for number 4.
All right, so some of, not everybody in the Kiss Army loves Dynasty and Unmasked, but those are actually in my top 5 because I love those 2 albums. So my next song is actually No Conscience, and the reason I bring up Dynasty and Unmasked is Vinnie Poncia is part of that song. And it's just got this really cool melody and hook, and the timing of it's a little sketchy. I think it's like Crazy Nights, Hot in the Shade timing. And if it is, it would have been great on either one of those albums. And I'm not sure who's doing that solo. I think it's Bruce, but man, the solo rips on or the guitar parts rip on that song. So No Conscience, I love it.
Good pick. I'm glad we're getting a lot of diversity in our selections here. Steve, number 4 from you.
I'm going back to 1966 for Gene. He said it's probably one of the first ones I'm assuming that he ever did. My Uncle's a Raft. I think it's a catchy song. It kind of reminds you of a Johnny Cash song at the beginning. I think It's got that little jangly guitar there, and I think it's fun. I think it's very catchy, and I think it's just a fun song. I enjoy it.
So it reminds you of Johnny Cash, and it reminds me of the 1940s Disney songs with when it has all the backing vocal sections, all the kids kind of high pitch. I like to see little elves, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
It's a Small World.
Yeah, singing that. So.
Elves with kiss makeup.
Maybe they'll do that at Disney. Put all and It's a Small World. Put kiss makeup on all of them.
Oh God!
When they buy Kiss. Yeah.
When they buy Kiss.
Yeah.
Yep.
The rights to Kiss.
All right, Ken, your next pick,
something.
please.
All right. Continuing in Beatles mode is See You Tonight. See You Tonight, which everyone knows that song, but I love this version of it. It's a really good demo. Sounds good. And it's very close, I guess, to to Gene Simmons solo version. But I just think it's a great song, one of his best songs. So that's it.
All right, my next one's another one that I'm surprised that I left on it. It's Hand of Fate. When we first heard it, and it was used basically as a single for the Vault because it was put up on SoundCloud in November in its entirety. So therefore, I figure since they've already given it away, they might as well include it on the Best of the Vault anyway. But it's grown on me. It's sleazy. It's, again, another Gene Simmons rocker. But because it's already kind of the single for the Vault, throw it on there. And therefore, you protect more of the Vault material for those who actually bought the Vault. So, good song. Anyway, so number 5, Sonny.
All right, so closing out my hidden treasures that should have been on a Kiss album is Dial L for Love. So this BS about that there was no full recording. And if this thing was really intended for Animalize or Asylum, it is a damn shame that Murder in High Heels is on an album and this is not. Right? But the version on this, in my opinion, the Dial L for Love matches the Van Halen songs. That's how good that song is, and it should be held in that regard. And, Eric and Adam Mitchell being part of it is all good, right?
Absolutely. I agree. Steve.
Definitely. I'm going to mirror one of Julian's picks already. She's Rotten to the Core. That was a song that, instantly caught me right from the beginning. I love it. And as Sonny knows, I am a big fan of Hot in the Shade, and it kind of sounds like it should be on that album. The guitar sound, I think, is Hot in the Shade sounding. And Bruce Kulick has the co-write on it. I just think it's a great song.
Excellent. All right, Ken. No, wait, it's me. Yep. All right. So,
no, it's Ken.
No, it's Ken.
I'm trying to go out of order.
Wait a minute. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Sonny, he sounds like me on my podcast.
Yeah.
Okay.
And as usual, everyone else is right. Ken, you're up.
Okay. My next one is Bad Lovin'. Though I know we got it, I think, on the Kiss box set or a similar version. But I think it's just a great song. I mean, obviously it's the workings of, Calling Dr. Love, and he kind of hadn't, figured out exactly how to go about that, creating that song. But this is one of the earlier versions of it. So, and it's kind of funny. I listen to it. You're expecting to go into Calling Dr. Love, but then it switches up and goes Bad Lovin', and it's kind of cool. It's still a cool song, even though it's not the Calling Dr. Love type song, but it's close. It's a good song.
Okay, so now I can go. All right.
Now,
so This is my first pick of something that was not on the Vault that should have been on the Vault. With everything that was said about this song in the Behind the Mask book, Naked City, the demo. Bob Kulick made comments about how Kiss essentially ruined the song from the original demo, how Ace couldn't play the guitar phrasing that Bob originally wrote for the song. And that makes it the biggest miss from the Vault, because Gene, if it was Bob, I think Carla DeVito sang on it, Gene, maybe Paul, were on it, then it could have been on the Vault. And in this fantasy realm, that's one error that I would like to correct, and one error that I would have liked more represented on the Vault. So, Naked City demo, Gene, I'm sure it wasn't on there for some reason, but I would fix that with this release. All right.
You don't have it, do you?
No.
Yeah, is that even available for anyone?
No, it does not circulate as far as I am aware.
Never seen it. Okay.
Yeah.
It'd be awesome to hear.
All right.
I'd love to hear that.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of things people would love to hear. Sonny, back to you.
Okay. Change the subject.
Moving on from that.
See how they did that?
Yeah.
Next.
All right, so we're getting to the Hardrock Jewels part of my CD, which these are just 5 rockers that I think everybody should hear. First one is Suspicious. So this is the song that was on the Bullet Boys, Black and Blue CD in Heat. I didn't do too well with Black and Blue. I'm not exactly sure who are all the musicians that play on this version, but you can definitely hear Jamie St. James singing in the background vocals, that's for sure. But this song's got 80s radio hit written all over it. And maybe it came too late for Black and Blue, but this would have done well on Hot in the Shade, I think.
Yeah, I think it is Black and Blue, just with Gene singing it, because it sounds pretty close to the backing track that was it on In Heat, or was it Nasty Nasty?
In Heat, yeah. In Heat.
So, and that was part of the audio montage that they shared, promotionally. So, cool song. I didn't know it was Black and Blue, someone had to point that out for me.
Yeah.
So, Steve, your next pick.
My next pick, as in Sonny, this closes out my first. No, I'm sorry. It's my second song, first song on my second EP, and it's the version of "Thou Shalt Not." I think it's a great version of how the song is going to be. You just get the "Thou Shalt Not" throughout there. There's no really lyrics in it, but it's still got a great sound for a demo, and it just shows a great foundation of that song.
Good pick, Ken.
My next one is You're My Reason for Living synth version. I guess it was done in what was it?
Early 90s.
91 to 93,
Yep.
According to your notes, Julian, I think. But I think that one, like Sonny's pick earlier, that song, if it would have been released on a Kiss album back when the power ballads were a hot thing back then, man, that would have been a hit. I mean, that really could have been a hit. And I really love that song. I think it's just a well-written song.
Nice. All right. My next one is Minasan Minasan, which was Gene's submission from Muma Aeroclover Z, the collaboration that ultimately became Samurai Sun. I'm sorry, I just can't help but like it. It's just so damn catchy. I should hate it, but I like it. So it's just one of those songs. It's going to be one I think that people are either throwing up or going all Japanese schoolgirl for. So I'll go all Japanese schoolgirl for it. Sonny.
It's better than Paul's version.
All right, my next one. It's got Bob Kulick involved. It's got Tommy and Jamie St. James involved. It's Promise the Moon. I really love the version that's on the Vault. It's got that kind of 80s Billboard Top 200 type sound, which some of the Vault, depending on the songs you like or don't like, could have been sold to other people and actually had several hits out of it. I think either Gene was too busy doing movies, or I guess if Paul says no, it's not good for anybody. I'm not too sure about that, but some of these songs could have been hits on the charts for other people.
I'm going to go into my little Vault book here, which will be available at the Indie Expo for people interested. Promise the Moon. That is the unrealized music from the Elder riff. So, and of course that was left off the Nasty Nasty album by Black and Blue. So a great song. I love how someone's picked that because I stayed away from those ones. Good choice. Steve.
Cool. I'm glad you're having that book, although I will not be in Indy, so is it possible to get a copy of that still?
I'll save some, though. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
What, you want something that looks like this? You mean like this one?
Or this one?
Yeah!
Oh,
I'm out of here. Boy, that really could have helped this weekend, by the way. Okay, my next one is going to be my title track. It's going to be Damn, I'm Good. It's one of the ultimate Gene Eagle songs. It's got a little scat beginning. It's got the unplugged electric guitar he's jamming on there. It's got a great groove, and I just love the feel of the song. And it's, it's Gene Simmons. Damn, I'm good.
Damn, he is. Ken.
Yeah, my next one is Love is Blind, #1. Gotta make sure I get the number in there. I thought I was going chronological, but I'm not exactly. I guess some of it's partly feel. But Love is Blind is a real good song. It's again, that's another one I think has showed up on the box set, right? Or a version of it. But again, it's just a very nice, mellow, I guess, song. But I always enjoy listening to it.
Well, my next two picks are ones that have already been mentioned, so I'm going to just double up here so that we're not here all night going through these. Dial L for Love. It's a criminal that was not included. It was actually for Crazy Nights. And then you think of some of the stuff that was on Crazy Nights, and you're like, why on earth was this not on there? It really is that good. It is also one of those things on the vault that made me need a change of underwear. Because, again, we thought that nothing existed of this song other than the rather dreadful version included on Unfinished Business. So just to get that song, get more Eric Carr, get a really good song from the Crazy Nights era, which didn't get on the album, just leaves you scratching your head about what could have been. So great pick already made. Another one already made is Going Blind, Little Lady. Again, of all the early Gene stuff for me, I love how it starts. I love its history. It was performed by Wicked Lester and Rainbow live. Obviously important for Hotter Than Hell and MTV Unplugged. Just a stunning song. So, Sonny, let's get back to you.
My two, I'll go with two also because they're repeats. So, Hand of Fate, which feels a little bit like modern day Delilah, right? But love the riff. And then Juliet, which feels a little bit like Cult of Personality, but I also love the feel and the riff. So, I had two of Julian's picks.
Nice. Steve.
I also have a double here. I have Dial L for Love, and I think it's great. I love the solo in it, and I like the lyrics in it. First dial 6, then dial 9. And then my next one's going to be I Ain't Coming Back. I like the diversity on that song. It has 70s disco written all over it. It's got that jingly guitar. It's just, I like it.
Well, if Paul Stanley could write a disco song, Gene Simmons certainly can as well.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, that's right. I'll give you two. One of them is a repeat. It's My Life, like Sonny picked. Again, I still wish it would have sounded better than it does. But having said that, it's still a great song. It's just great to listen to. And yes, it should have been on Creatures or Lick It Up. And it would have been a hit if it was released first. Definitely. So that's one. The other one is Rain Keeps Falling. I just like, boy, that's just to me a beautiful song. And it doesn't sound like, I mean, he's redone stuff, but it really doesn't sound like his other songs. I just think it works great. So that's the second one. Rain Keeps Falling.
Another lost Gene Simmons gem, really, again, included as a bonus track on the Japanese version of the Asshole album, if my recollection serves correct. Or was that Everybody Knows? Always lose track of some of the stuff he's put out. All right, we've got a lot of crossover here, but I'm hoping that I'm the only one who picks this one. Weapons, Power to Raise the Dead. One word, Ace. It's his rewrite of Gene's Weapons song, and it's just a stunning vocal that's very different from a lot of what I've heard from Ace throughout his career, through his demos, through his studio stuff. I love it. It just resonates with me for no other reason than it's heavy Ace in a good way. Sonny.
All right, so the song that closes out my second part of my CD, which is the Hardrock Jewels, is Are You Always This Hot? So it's another Adam Mitchell. Bruce's guitar work on this thing is amazing. And I think, was this the 12th song for Crazy Nights?
This was the 12th song.
Yeah. So I just wish the chorus was a little better, but the guitar work does it for me. Bruce is on fire.
Yep. No. Yes. All right, Steve, your next pick.
Ken picked one of my picks also. Rain Keeps Falling. Great song. I love it. I won't go through the whole thing again. The next one I have is Just Give Me Love #2. I mentioned before how the train wreck of You Wanted the Best came out. But I like it better on here because you don't have everybody singing and the lyrics aren't so stupid. And the lead up to the solo is weak, but the solo is really good in it. And I like that, except for that one part. I like that version, and I could just kind of get the Psycho Circus version out of my head when I actually listen to that version.
Nice. Ken.
All right, my next one is, you kind of mentioned it quickly, Julian. Everyone Knows #1. So that's another really good song, and it's not a skipper for me, but it's real good. I'm not even sure when it was. I think it was written. Was that written around late 80s, Julian? It's another one I thought it could have been maybe a hit,
Again, I'm going to agree with Eddie Trunk that there's so much material on this vault that it's very hard to digest, even 4 months in. I just don't know. I don't have these details. They don't snap of the fingers yet.
You're supposed to know.
Yeah, I know, but I don't. I can't remember what I had for lunch yesterday.
Okay. Anyway, everybody knows. #1.
Good pick. My next pick is, again, the second song that I felt should have been on the vault that was an egregious exclusion. Stanley the Parrot. It boggles the mind that this was left off the vault. The transfer that they used of Lita is no better than the transfer of Stanley the Parrot. Now, I wonder if there were some clearance issues or maybe other issues that resulted in it being excluded, but for whatever reason, on my fantasy best of the vault, it's gonna be there because it's important in history. It's a really dorky early Gene song. It's a pretty cool performance in terms of the guitar work, whoever that is, and it became Strutter core Kiss song. Right. So it was reimagined as that. So it should be on the vault. It's going to be on my best of the vault just because I substitute my reality. Sonny.
All right, so here we go with the delicate gems, and this is where there might be things you don't agree with. But anyway, my first delicate gem is Hold On. So the Silent Rage guys help with a bunch of these demos that are all over this vault. But that one, the first time I heard it, I'm like, is this Bruce Springsteen? Like, it kind of sounded like Hungry Heart a little bit. So, but I love the song. I think it's a great song.
Cool. Doesn't all have to be Angry Demon.
Steve. Does for me. I'm going to go with the demo from Dynasty, X-Ray Eyes. I think it's a really cool version. When the guitar first comes on, the very first thing I think of is Jesse's Girl from Rick Springfield. Really? As soon as that comes on, I'm like, holy crap, that sounds... It just totally reminds me of that. I like the raw sounding of the recording, and the bass on that is really out front, I think, a lot more than you get it on Dynasty. And I like it.
Good one. Ken.
Okay, my next one is Hell or High... Is it Hell of High Water on this? That's weird. Yeah. Is it Hell or High Water?
Hell or High Water.
I think on this CD, when you load it onto a computer, it says Hell of High Water.
Yeah, I had a couple.
I didn't notice that
like
until
that
now.
too.
Well, I uploaded my track listing when I actually loaded it in, so it may well be one of the Julian Gill typos.
I don't know. Hell of High Water. Anyway, Hell or High Water should be. Anyway, that's the song that what Crazy Nights could have been.
Yeah.
As far as sound, to not overproduce it and gosh, it just the production on that thing is so thin. It's just ridiculous. But Hell or High Water should have been. Well, it was on it, but it should have been produced in a more gritty,
It should have sounded like Asylum.
Yeah.
Or
It could have sounded like
Animalize. I take either of those.
Even that, yeah. It would have
crazy,
been.
all the Crazy Nights demos, all of Paul's are just fantastic. Once they become we've talked about it.
They were neutered.
I can't help but go on a rant just because a deluxe edition for the 30th anniversary of Crazy Nights, it just would have been so good to have all of those demos, and they're really fantastic. And now Dial L and Are You Always This Hot are out or available. It just boggles the mind that they didn't put together one. If Def Leppard can have Hysteria Deluxe Edition, can please have even Crazy Nights, just something, please. All right, so I'm going to double up because both of these have been mentioned. Got Love for Sale. I feel that we got to have one Edward Van Halen track on this sampler in order to hook people in. And this one is just the one where Eddie lets loose. He is full on 1977 or 76. Actually, it's April 77. Eddie, which is the best Eddie there ever was. The second one is You're My Reason for Living, synth, even though already heard it, and it was on the 2003 Sex Money Kiss audio lunchbox bonus disc and Japanese asshole release. I just think it's an exquisite song. It's just absolutely beautiful. It's wonderful. It's a fantastic ballad. All right, Sonny, back to you.
All right, so I'm going to double up since one of mine are repeats. Everybody knows number one. It's a great song. The other one, I picked Love Came to Me, and I label it as Gene's I Was Made for Loving You. I do think it needs a Desmond Child hug, though. If that song had just a little bit of touch from Desmond Child, the thing would be a more melodic early 80s hit. But it's one of my favorites from the Gentle Demon, Love Came to Me.
Nice. Steve.
Pick. With all the craziness now with Vinnie Vincent coming back out into the forefront, we got to throw I Want to Live on there, I think. You don't get a ripping solo or anything like that, but I think it's cool. I think the guitar melody in it is good. It's a decent song, and it's a good sound of song. I like the kind of get a little grindage towards the end there. I like it.
Good stuff. Ken.
Okay, well, I'm going to double up on this one. I got Promise the Moon, another one that I think what Sonny chose. Did you choose it too,
yeah.
Julian? Oh, you didn't? Okay, but yeah, Sonny did. So that song is really, really good. I think it's kind of like one that grew on me over time, and it does not sound like anything else he's written. I mean, it's not. I don't hear it in any of his other material where you hear his, redoing his songs until he finally gets to it. But this one doesn't really sound like anything else. It's really good. And then the other one is Turn to Stone. Another one I think that was picked, and that one where I think Sonny said it was like a ZZ Top kind of riff. Yeah. I thought it was more like a rainbow riff. So that's how I thought of it. So,
Blues rock.
And a Man on the Silver Mountain.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. There you go.
Come on, you could take ZZ Top or Rainbow. It sounds like a winner to me.
winner. Chicken dinner.
All right, good picks. My next one is, let's put it this way. I flew to Edmonton to see the Gene Simmons Band live just so I could hear Charisma. And thank God they performed it. It's a Kiss song that I've always liked. From the moment I bought Dynasty, it just jumped out at me. I like the kind of chugging vibe. Even better on the vault is the sonics for me of the 1977 to 79 demos. X-Ray Eyes, already mentioned, is a great example.
Oh, yeah.
They sound fantastic. Larger Than Life, Almost Human, again, sound excellent, even though they don't sound like full 24-track demos. They're probably 8 or maybe even 4 lower form demos. But they sound very good. They have character and appeal. But charisma, just love it to pieces. Sonny.
All right, so although I can take or leave the Beatles demon, I love the R&B demon. So my next pick is Never Gonna Leave You, number 1.
Mm-hmm.
It's got that R&B feel. For a 4-track, it sounds great, but it's just got this kind of like dance track, hummable melody. I love R&B, so it was for me.
Good one. Steve, you're up.
Good pick. Someone drag race in there?
San Francisco.
It's indie.
Yeah.
It's Julian.
That's true. My next pick is going to be Sweet Temptation, that ended up being Only You on the Elder. And Sonny, I'm not an Elder fan, but I think that it with the either the love or hate factor out there that there is for the Elder, I think that that would generate some interest in the safe deposit box also, because there's going to be something from the Elder on there.
Nice. Elder. Never heard of her. Ken.
Yeah, well, my next one is Hey You, which is that other Gene Simmons, Ken Tamplin recording. And I just like the call outs of this thing and the way it grooves along. I just think it's really cool. Really cool song. It's one of the first songs that really grabbed me at the beginning when I first started listening to the Vault. But it's another one that's a little different from his normal style. So, and it's good. So that's it. Hey You.
All right. So my next pick is Tokenism for Gene's 1978 solo album. Sonny, cover your ears. Always Near You. I had to have something Beatlesque from Gene on there. And maybe it's because I've heard See You Tonight so many hundreds of times, the demo. A lot of the other stuff I've heard so many times. This one on the Vault really jumps out at me. It's fresh. It's something new to listen to from that period. So it's making it onto the Vault, because the best of the Vault, because I wouldn't want to torture anyone by putting See You Tonight on there. It would just be too predictable. All right, Sonny, back to you if you survive that Beatle outburst.
All right, so my closer was written around Creatures of the Night era, but would have never made Creatures of the Night because it's like mid-tempo. It's going to Be All Right. So looks like Michael Japp helped him write it, but it's a really kind of catchy tune, but what they were doing for Creatures was never going to fit this, and then you go to lick it up, this thing would have been lost in the woodwork. I would have sold it to Bryan Adams or somebody to let them have a hit with it.
Yeah,
They could have traded him for War Machine.
Yeah, there you go.
Another missed opportunity, really. That's one of those things. All right, Steve, where are we on your picks? Are we near your last
This is
one?
my closer. Yeah, this is my closer too. I didn't realize until like just now that I actually have a lot of Psycho Circus stuff on here, which I think is a rather interesting period. I have In Your Face with Ace singing it. I think as much as there is interest out there with Vinnie Vincent, I think Ace singing on a track on there would also generate some interest also. And I wish it was on Psycho Circus. Could have cut something else off of there. It's just a good track. Although I do hate he has to throw in the Man from Space in the song like that. That shit just drives me crazy. We know you're the spaceman. You don't need to, mention it every song that you have. But other than that, I really enjoy the song.
Good pick. Ken.
Okay, I have two more. But Are You Ready is my next one. Obviously, that's already been picked. And everyone's heard it, and everyone's heard the samples of it and that sort of thing. But just another really, really well-written song. It should have been on the Kiss album. I guess Sonic Boom or Monster. Probably another song that Paul nixed. Just getting my jab in there.
That would have been a great Gene opener.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
but he's had enough. He's had what, Unholy and something else. So that's all he can have. He can't have any more.
You only get 2.
All right. So I'll let you go back to your final pick in a moment.
Okay.
My final pick for this album is Bad Lovin. Not the one that you picked. This is the full kind of disco flavored one that came later. It's Disc 8 track 11. And again, just like how I opened up my CD with Howling for Your Love, we're going to close with something that's been out there for years, but something that, again, demonstrates just how good some of this stuff sounds. Up yours, Eddie. It really... Yes, there are some of these that are lower form and do have a little bit of hiss or background, but if you take a steak, you usually put some salt and pepper on it. It's called seasoning. That's what I take that hiss to be on some of those things. Again, opinions vary. Some people, that really bothers them. I know it does. I've had discussions with it. But Bad Lovin', even though I've heard it hundreds of times, I love it, and it just sounds crystal clear. It is just one of those songs that really stands out, that, again, you're not really giving anything away putting it on a best of the vault because so many collectors have heard it. But for someone who is a collector, they'll be, holy crap, I'm buying that vault. This stuff sounds fantastic, even though everything on the vault isn't going to be that much of an improvement that is. So, Ken, back to your final pick.
Sure. Yeah, my final pick is Are You Real? I guess recorded in that studio we parked in front of down there in Hollywood at Conway Studios.
Yeah, Conway, yeah.
Remember that? Yeah, when we did the LA Kiss Expo meeting Peter. Yeah, we were standing right in front of that studio where we parked. So Are You Real? Another song that probably should have been, again, on I guess Monster, if it was recorded 2011 as we think it is. It should have been thrown in on Monster as an offset to maybe, Freak, something like that.
Freak followed by Are You Real? Yeah. Followed by The Devil Is
Perfect.
Real. Yep. All right.
It's been a concept album.
Has everyone gotten all their picks in? All right,
Yep.
Let's move on to Two Misses. Those are those 2 songs that very, very nearly made the cut, and why. Sonny, let's start with you on these.
My first one's a repeat, Mina-san. Love that song. I think it's catchy. But my second one's going to be a surprise because with all the Beatles hate that I sometimes portray, I Wait almost made my list.
Wow.
And I believe that you could hand that song to James Bay or Ed Sheeran right now, and it would be a hit.
Wow. Do it. Get Kiss back in the public eye for the final farewell or
Do
end
it
of
and
the
get
road.
sued by Gene.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right, Steve, what are your 2 near misses?
My one near miss was Turn to Stone. I know we already talked about that one,
Yes.
so I won't go over that one again. I think Ken picked that, right?
I picked it and Sonny picked it.
Yeah, I did too.
Okay.
Julian's the only
So
person.
we got a three-peat on that one, and I picked I'm Paralyzed. I really like the plotting guitar on that, and I don't know if you want to call it rap, but semi, like how just the talking on it just missed.
Okay, good one. Ken, what are yours?
Okay, and my 2 are, first one is Master of Flash, which is the one, Gene didn't write, but he bought it, had the sense to buy it from the guy who wrote it, and is very cool, Bowie-ish type, song. And it's just so different, but it's very cool, early 70s kind of, like I said, Bowie kind of song. The second song is Repeat, Mina-san. Again, a song that they should have used with the girl group in Japan instead of the Paul one. I think they both wrote the song, but sorry, Gene's better. Sorry, Paul.
I'm gonna have to go back and listen to that one. I'm not really familiar with. Like you said, there's so many songs on there.
Yeah.
And that one, I'm gonna have to go back and check that one out.
Takes a while.
That would have made a great video. You know,
Yeah.
I don't see why they couldn't have done both, because Samurai Sun's
Why
actually
not?
pretty weird. It's very different than the usual sort of Kiss canon. But, you know, Minasan, having the girls, you know, do the backing vocals on that would have been, you know, very fun to watch as a video, because they did some great video work with the Japanese animations and all that for that. So, you know, again, good song. All right, my two misses are Suspicious. I do actually like that song very much, but I have such a problem with Black and Blue that I just could not bring myself to actually put it on there. It did make me, when someone pointed out that it was... No, it's not even that. I just find them so mediocre. But then you hear Promise the Moon and you hear Suspicious, and it makes me, and it made me go out and dig back into the Black and Blue catalog and just give it a reappraisal. And there's some stuff on there that, you know, is better than, say, Jet Boy or Betsy Bitch and, you know, some of the lower form LA bands of the era. So, you know, power to Tommy and Jamie and, you know, and Pete, the guys. It's a good song. So I'm glad that I had the Vault make me go out and listen to something that I have never really given much of a chance. And that's what music should do. It should make you kind of think sometimes or reappraise what you've been listening to. The other one is My Uncle is a Raft. I just could not bring myself. I have this like 1940s Mickey Mouse cartoon, you know, 1920s Mickey Mouse, you know, Steamboat Willie or whatever it was going through my head. I just see that chorus whenever he sings that, but I love what it represents. I just think that in the context of the Vault, with it being the very last song and his very first song, that should be left to only people who purchase the Vault, again, because of the story. All right. We have to go there, and we're going to be like the cesspit, and this is your one no chance whatsoever, the one song from the Vault that you wouldn't torture your death pet rock with. Anything with a backbone slip in its lyric, basically. Sonny, what's the one song that you would erase from the Vault if you were given that eraser?
Okay, so I'm going to pull a Steve Wright and not follow the rules because I couldn't decide between two. So I'm going to tell you both of them.
I'm rubbing off on you.
Yeah. I Dream a Thousand Dreams. Didn't like the asshole version. Don't like anything about the version that's in the vault. And Queen of Hearts. And I know Pepe Castro helped with Naked City, but Queen of Hearts ain't no Naked City. Both of those, I wouldn't torture anybody with those two songs.
Okay. Steve, are you going to break the rules as well?
I am not. Actually, Queen of Hearts was one of my one of the ones I was narrowing it down from. But I picked Forever, Fourever.
Oh, yeah.
And thank God that song was only 3 minutes, because like it was just absolute torture listening to that. The one lyric, "We are the only ones who can rock this world forever." Like, come on, like, can't do it. I didn't put a skull and crossbones next to it.
All right, Ken, what's your poison pill in the Vault?
Well, mine is more not because it's horrible or anything. It's more because of a disappointment, and that's Mongoloid Man. Just because I was waiting, you know, the big deal. Oh, I wrote a song with Joe Perry. I'm like, oh wow, it's going to be Kiss meets Aerosmith, and no, it's not that.
So much.
That same damn riff again.
Yeah, it's the same
lyrics.
Riff, and it's just it's just a total letdown. It's like, come on, these two guys, and that's all they could, you know, come up with. I don't know. So yeah, it's just more of a disappointment than anything else.
You wait all these years to hear that song, and suddenly you realize that you've actually already heard the song dozens of times, and that Gene Simmons actually had Joe Perry come down and play on that same frickin' riff that he never managed to actually use, or kept trying to use. Well, obviously Joe didn't do anything for it. So, all right, mine. It would have been too easy to pick something off Asshole, because there's a lot of stuff on that album that is just, well, Dog. No, I like Dog. That's really fun. Yeah, but I actually had to go with My Babe. And I felt really bad. It's just not very good for me. It's Eric Carr, and I feel really guilty picking anything to do with Eric. But it really sounds like 2 chords, have a song, sit there with a guitar, my babe, my... Shut up! No! Garbage. So that's the only one, even everything else. I could not pick the Dylan tape, the 15 minutes of that. I can't even pick that because I listened to it once, I deleted it. So I never have to hear it again. But for what it is what it is in terms of its history is, more important than My Babe, which, ask me tomorrow. I'm going to pick something else tomorrow. I'm a Kiss fan. None of this sticks. It's not permanent. Right. It's not forever. All right, so let's complete this fantasy. How would you package it? Steve, you've given something that I don't think can be topped. Sonny, Ken, you've had the whole show to think about how to top Steve's. Sonny, how would you package yours up?
Yeah, I'm not topping Steve's. My idea was it was a money bag, right? So somehow it's the money bag with a money bag logo. I did have the idea that whatever was in the money bag, except for that 15-song disc, would be different. So there might be stickers, there might be pictures, there might be notes of some sort, but very much like the vault is a little bit different for everybody, that this packaged bag would be a little bit different for everybody. But yeah, that was really it. But besides that, it would be pretty simple. It wouldn't be a safety deposit box, although I think that's a great idea.
Yep, that's brilliant. Ken, how about you?
Well, didn't I do it? I already kind of did it.
Yeah, you did it.
The vinyl. And again, I don't know what it'll be in, but
sorry, I forgot everything after Steve's. But
I know it's it's hard to forget that.
I also went with vinyl, and the way I kind of imagine it is double vinyl, and it's going to be red vinyl. It's going to be multicolored, but it's going to be pressed so that it comes out a little bit like Sauron's eyes, but mainly red, orange towards the center, demon eyes. It's going to be a gatefold. The inside gatefold is going to be like that wallpaper that they've got for the website, the collage of Gene images. The front cover is going to be a close-up of the front of the vault, basically. The dial, the Gene Simmons Vault, best of. And the back cover would be that promo photo that Mark Weiss took that's been used everywhere with the track listing. So kind of vanilla in that sense, but it's only available on vinyl. It's not available as a CD. Double vinyl with a digital download card, single use for those who buy it, and released on Record Store Day, finally getting Kiss and the band to participate in that important day of the year.
Finally.
Yeah, but again, that doesn't go anywhere near the safety deposit box. I just totally bow down to you. That's
I'd end up buying like 10 of those and not get everything I wanted at 3 repeats.
Well, do you remember Circus, how they did the 4 different CD prints and they put them in backwards into the packaging, so people were buying multiple ones, saying, God, Peter Criss again? Oh, shit. Peter Criss again? And then they flipped them around and people were able to actually buy a set of all of them. But buy your 5 different safety deposit boxes. Of course, they'll all.
Mine would tell you which bass is in each one.
Which
you would only have to buy 4.
All right, which bass would everyone want before we sign off here?
Yeah, there would be one bass in each one, so it'd be on the wrapping of it which bass was included in it.
I think the Axe would be the most popular one of those, followed by the Alive Grabber, followed by the Crazy Nights, Gene Simmons Face and Tongue. But actually, I can't decide between the Axe and the Crazy Nights era one. Grabber's a little bit boring compared to both of those for me. All right, so there we are. Any final words on the Vault? I mean, here we are 4 months later. I still listen to the Vault on a weekly basis, if not some of it on a daily basis at work, and I'm still discovering new things with it. So, yeah, it always sounds a little bit like a sales pitch that, it's the gift that keeps on giving for me. Sonny, are you still enjoying it, and how's it kind of changed your look at this material?
Yeah, I have about 120 out of the 165 songs, somewhere in there. About 120 of them in my playlist that shuffles, so I at least hear one every day. Worth every penny to me. I would do it again. The haters can hate, but that money's well worth it.
Absolutely. Steve?
I totally agree. It was definitely worth every penny. And I finally, actually Monday when we came home from M3, I finally got all of my Vault stuff. I finally got my shirt, my golden ticket, and my download card. I did the will call in Philadelphia, and for some reason those weren't available. But I finally received everything. And if you're thinking about it, pull the trigger.
Yep, GeneSimmonsVault.com. Ken, you went through quite a saga to get yours with not picking it up in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Is it still worth the wait? Literally and figuratively.
Oh, yes, definitely. I mean, half of it was meeting again Gene and the whole experience down there, and the other half is getting the Vault and the CDs and all the music. Again, I'm still, even now, listening to songs and like, oh, wait a minute, I like that song. I don't remember, liking it. Like lots of songs, you have to listen to. To me, you have to listen to at least 3 times, full to really get a good feel of a song. Sometimes, it can grab you right away. Sometimes those are the ones that wear out faster than the other songs. So it just keeps on giving, like you say, Julian. And I keep finding new little things that I didn't realize I've heard before in earlier listening. So just great. Yeah, worth the money.
Awesome. So this show's going to go out on Thursday, May the 10th. You've still got time to get your tickets for, I believe it's Chicago this weekend, while the Indie Expo takes place on Saturday and Sunday. Most recently announced guest will be Tommy Thayer in Portland.
That's
so right. Every current member of KISS has made an appearance. Peter and every living member, haven't they? So, congratulations to Gene to getting everyone involved. It's been good for the KISS Army and everyone attending these. For now, again, GeneSimmonsVault.com, but I'd like to thank Sonny, Hollywood, Pooni.
Good, guys, thanks for the opportunity. I got a face made for radio, so it's not often I get on YouTube, but thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah, awesome. Steve, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thanks for thinking of me. I had a great time, and I, like Sonny, have a face made for radio, and that's why we are just an audio only podcast. And our podcast comes out every Friday at noon. So check us out, Hotter Than Hell, and thank you guys for having me on here. You guys are awesome.
Before we close, I'd just like to give a shout out to Joe Adele, who was going to participate in this episode until we couldn't get our schedules to come together. Joe, look forward to seeing you in Indy. Thank you for trying to be a part of the show, and hopefully you can chime in with your 15 picks in wherever you listen to this episode. Ken, I'll see you tomorrow. So
that's right. Got to remember.
I guess for now, from Sonny, from Steve, from Ken, and myself, thank you for listening, and we'll see you all somewhere, either in person or on our shows. Bye for now.